Who would have thought that on the day her first love came back to the country, Emma would calmly be at home celebrating my birthday? Noah? I don't know anyone by that name. Under my curious questioning, the information Emma accidentally let slip left me a little stunned. Honey, I lied to you. I'm sorry. I've liked you for a long time. Please don't divorce me, okay? Then she realized what she'd just said. Under my gaze, her face suddenly flushed red, and she confessed her feelings to me with deep affection. The story had somehow gone off the rails. 1. Emma and I were college classmates. With my ordinary family background, someone like me was never supposed to cross paths with a privileged girl like her. But one evening, as I was heading back to campus carrying takeout for my roommates, I stumbled upon a few thugs surrounding two girls and harassing them. I'd had a little to drink, and I was at that age where doing the right thing came naturally. My blood boiled, and I charged right in. With the fighting experience I'd built up over 20 years, I made quick work of those drunk thugs and escorted the two girls back to campus. I was secretly pleased with how well I'd handled myself, sure I'd made a good impression on them, when I realized one of the girls was none other than the campus belle, Emma, and the other was her best friend, Olivia. Emma was the only daughter of the CEO of a major listed corporation. Olivia's family was slightly less wealthy, but she was still the cherished daughter of the Hawthorne family, people from a completely different social class than someone like me. I was just an orphan, raised in a children's home. The director there always used his own life to teach me that guys like me shouldn't date rich, beautiful girls, it never ends well. So I kept my distance from the prettiest, wealthiest girls on campus. If I could avoid contact, I absolutely would. Hey, can I get your contact info? If you ever need help with anything, just let me know, I'll definitely return the favor. Thanks, but it was nothing. No need. To their gratitude, I just gave a faint smile, walked them back to their dorm, and left, no chance for any further conversation. Watching my back as I strode away, Olivia and Emma exchanged a glance, both speechless. Did my makeup look bad today? No, you looked gorgeous. Then why did he? I think he might be a total straight guy. 2. Unaware that they were gossiping about me behind my back, I just felt relieved to have shaken off 2 big headaches. Back at the dorm, I realized the takeout I'd brought for my roommates had ended up dumped on a thug's head during the fight. Amid my roommates' dramatic wails of gratitude, I sheepishly ran out to get more. Sure enough, those kinds of girls were nothing but trouble. We'd just met and she'd already caused me this much hassle. During a basketball tournament, Emma and Olivia unexpectedly showed up, unreservedly holding up signs cheering for me. When they caught me looking their way, they waved enthusiastically. Come on, I was the campus heartthrob. Plenty of girls cheered for me. Why would I pay attention to these two? I focused entirely on the game. With my precise court control, I pulled off a dunk with 3 seconds left on the clock, sealing the win and sending the crowd of girls into a frenzy. I lifted the hem of my jersey to wipe the sweat off my face, giving them a glimpse of my 8-pack. Hey, they were cheering for me, might as well give them a little something. Right after, several girls ran over to offer me water. I scanned them quickly, saw they were all pretty, and snatched a bottle from a teammate's hand before they could get to me, cracking it open and chugging it down. Emma and Olivia had already held out their water bottles, but in that situation they could only pull them back. Before they could say anything, I was already heading to the locker room to change. At the freshman welcome gala, I performed as my class's talent representative with guitar in hand. I sang a clear, bright song, then followed it up with a piano solo. With my carefully styled hair and my best white shirt, I solidified my title as the campus heartthrob. Backstage, a swarm of girls asked for my number. I simply flipped open my pockets. Sorry, I don't have a phone. Emma, who'd been holding her phone, silently put it back in her pocket and watched me walk away. 3. Emma ran into me at the bubble tea shop where I worked a night shift, and after that she came in every day to buy a cup. One time, she seemed to have made a difficult decision. She walked up to me shyly. "Hey, could you bring me bubble tea after your shift? Just leave it at my dorm building." "Can't. I need to work out after I get back." "No time." I turned her down flat. "Come on, my time was valuable." I woke up early to study business management, worked out for an hour at night, and was also studying computer network engineering and digital media technology. Plus I needed to improve my foreign language skills. My day was packed, no time to deliver bubble tea. When Emma heard I worked out, her eyes automatically drifted to my chest and stomach, and she swallowed. I can pay extra." "How much?" My eyes lit up instantly, and I stared at her unblinkingly. A girl from such a wealthy family, she'd pay well, right? If the number was what I wanted, I could cut back on my part-time hours. 2,000 a month? Emma ventured a number tentatively. "Deal." I agreed without hesitation. "Then let's exchange contact info so I can transfer you the money." This time, when she asked for my number, I pulled out my phone without a second thought. She calculated the cost of the bubble tea and transferred me 3,800. I was a little shocked. I'd assumed the price included the tea. Then it hit me, she wanted 4 cups a day. At 15 a cup, that was 1,800 just for the tea. There was no way I'd agree to that. "Don't worry. Every night at 9, I'll be at your dorm building, right on time." When my shift was about to end, Emma said it wasn't safe for her to walk back alone and waited to leave with me. I glanced at the burly men in black not far away, clearly her bodyguards, and gave Emma a speechless look. But if Miss Emma thought this was fun, who was I to argue? When my shift ended, I walked ahead carrying 4 cups of bubble tea with Emma beside me, followed by several men in black. From then on, I showed up at the girls' dorm every night at 9 sharp, waiting for Emma to come down for her tea. 2 days later, she asked me to bring her breakfast too. Given how much she was paying, I readily agreed. Breakfast in the morning, bubble tea at night. A week later, she said too many guys were hitting on her at school and asked me to eat lunch with her. Free lunch? I was in. Breakfast in the morning, lunch together, bubble tea at night. Then she occasionally asked me to bring flowers, gifts. Rumors started spreading around school that the campus heartthrob and the campus belle, Emma, were dating. I scoffed. I was just a delivery guy. Were people that stupid? Emma, I can't believe it. You actually managed to win over the most emotionally clueless guy on campus? Spill, what's your secret? Emma, who'd used the money tactic, felt a little embarrassed. Faced with Olivia's question, and remembering that her best friend also had a thing for me, she just shook her head mysteriously, looking like she couldn't say. 4. Emma's requests got weirder and weirder. She even made me go shopping with her and her roommates. Sure, just carrying bags earned me a few thousand, but I had a vague feeling something was off. Her best friend kept teasing us about being a couple, and Emma wouldn't let me clear things up. Every time I could only smile and act shy. I quit my part-time jobs entirely. Just being around Emma covered my living expenses and let me save some money. I even had more time to improve myself. Every day without fail, I woke up at 5:30 for a run, then brought Emma breakfast. After morning classes, I mooched lunch off Emma. At noon, I could study business management in her dance studio. Sometimes she invited me to dinner too. Free food, of course I showed up. But her suggestion of taking a walk after dinner I turned down flat. Come on, if she wanted to hang out at night too, what if she found out about the half-price bubble tea deal I'd worked out with the shop owner? But Emma was the definition of rich and clueless. She even had me bring her gifts and then generously gave me one in return. So we ended up with a lot of matching stuff. Matching watches, matching clothes, matching backpacks, even our bag charms matched. The rumors multiplied. Not just classmates, but even my roommates started teasing me about it. Out of professional courtesy, I didn't explain, and so the whole thing started to look more and more real. Everyone around us believed it because we genuinely acted like a couple. But inside, I remained as hard as iron. People from different classes don't end up together. Besides, Emma had just hired me. We were completely above board. Making money, that was the only thing on my mind. I focused on writing my smart AI research into a paper, got it published, and won a scholarship. My daily routine with Emma continued as always. Though my actions made it look like I was chasing her, there was zero real progress. Soon things would change, though. We were about to graduate. After that, our lives would go in completely different directions. We probably wouldn't see each other much. Emma, we're graduating soon. Shouldn't you and Liam finally make it official? Like, post something? Olivia had never quite believed Emma's claim that we were already together. Because right when Olivia had wanted to pursue me, Emma had conveniently announced we were dating. And though I was always attentive to Emma, the way I looked at her and how we interacted made it seem like we were just friends, no intimacy at all. Emma's eyes darted away. She hemmed and hawed for ages, and under Olivia's increasingly suspicious gaze, she finally had to nod and agree. I'll talk to Liam tomorrow. Then you guys can watch us be all couple. Why? Emma, who hated losing face, started thinking about how to get me to go along with acting out this little scene. For all this time, I'd been extremely resistant to any physical intimacy with her, which had made Emma doubt her own attractiveness. But the way I kept sneaking glances at her long legs made her think there was something wrong with me. Liking her but holding back, acting like we absolutely couldn't take things further, it drove Emma crazy. Could this guy only be moved by money? Well, I've got nothing but money. Finally, Emma made a crazy decision. If we were going to act, we'd go all the way, that way Olivia would finally give up on me. She thought about my looks, my body, my grades, my willpower, my ability to sing and play. Most importantly, my talent for business management and AI research. Plus, I had no background and a clean record. As long as I was grateful, a guy like me would be fought over by every wealthy family. Don't assume wealthy families are full of elites, most of them are probably useless. To keep the family prosperous, marrying off a daughter to someone like this to help run the family business was something most would happily agree to. Of course, all of this would be under a contract. When Emma, face flushed, slapped a contract down in front of me, I skimmed through it and thought, finally, the heavens are smiling on me. 30 million for 3 years. All I had to do was enter a contract marriage with Emma, and I could even go work at the Hawthorne Corporation directly. This was a gift from the gods. I signed the contract immediately, terrified Emma might change her mind. Watching me sign so eagerly, then glance up at her cautiously, a strange thought crossed Emma's mind. Did Liam actually like me? He just wasn't showing it? Why else would he sign so fast? Emma, I'm free whenever. So, when should we get the marriage license? Seeing me rush her like that, Emma became even more convinced of her theory. The contract said we'd act affectionate in front of others. Since I'd signed, the contract was in effect. So when I saw Olivia walk into the coffee shop, I subtly took Emma's hand. Huh? The license? Can it wait a bit? Emma clearly wasn't used to physical intimacy with a man, even just holding hands made her blush furiously. I pulled Emma up, and we came face to face with Olivia. Emma's face turned bright red instantly. Olivia was stunned. These two were actually going to get married? That was fast. We've got something to take care of, so we won't waste your time. Bye. I greeted Olivia, pulled Emma along, and hurried out of the coffee shop. The marriage process was simple. With our IDs, it was done quickly. The camera flashed, and our photo appeared on the little red book. A stamp, and it was official, we were husband and wife. We updated our social media together, a photo of our clasped hands and our marriage certificate. The entire campus went wild. How many college students dreamed of getting married right after graduation? But almost no one actually did it. Now the campus belle and heartthrob had made it official, countless people were green with envy. At graduation, we hugged intimately, and our photos ended up on everyone's phones. I also met Emma's parents as a matter of course, and that night I moved my luggage straight into her big villa. Only 3 years to enjoy the rich life. Wasting even a second would be disrespectful to this massive house. Out of respect for my employer, I moved into the guest room and made myself a plan for serving Emma. So when Emma walked out of her bedroom the next morning with messy bedhead, she found me in an apron, breakfast already laid out. She happily tasted everything and gave me feedback, which I noted down and improved on the next day. I studied hard while observing Emma's preferences. When we joined the Hawthorne Corporation, I quickly got into the swing of things, doing my job well every day and helping Emma learn to manage the company. I was just an intern, while Emma was parachuted in as deputy director of the management department. Every day after work, I made dinner for Emma and helped her review her day's work. Emma told me more than once I didn't need to work so hard, but I always politely declined. Come on, this was valuable work experience. When the contract ended, I'd have rich experience. Then I could go work anywhere or start my own business. Truth must be in your own hands, that was my motto. And as Emma and I got closer, I heard some secrets. She had a childhood sweetheart named Noah who'd gone abroad after starting college and was still getting his master's degree there. He'd be back in a little over 2 years. Yeah, I know. My calm attitude seemed to confuse the young woman across from me. You know? Then know your place. Not everyone can marry above their station. Scarlett thought for a moment, tried to look intimidating, and threatened me. Got it. Is there anything else, Miss Scarlett? My polite response left Noah's sister speechless for a moment. No. Fine, then. Since you insisted on treating me, this meal is on you. I calmly wiped my mouth with a napkin, stood up, and left, leaving behind a messy table and a stunned Scarlett. Back at the company, it was exactly time for work. I gave myself a mental pat on the back for my perfect timing. Even knowing Emma's secret, I wasn't bothered. It was a contract marriage, I had no right to interfere in her personal life. When the time was up, I'd leave Hawthorne and pursue my own dreams. But Emma was acting strange. She was becoming more and more dependent on me. Commuting together was one thing, but she even insisted on eating lunch with me. So my poor lunch break turned into our chat time. Sometimes when she was tired, she'd nap in the office, sleeping in front of me without any guard up. Looking at that perfect face, I'd have some thoughts, but I'd quickly push them away. I studied harder and harder, and my work became more and more effortless. With Emma's laissez-faire attitude, I developed my own philosophy on company management. When Emma took my business plan to her father and got his approval to implement it company-wide. In a year and a half, Emma smoothly rose to vice president with my help, and I was personally appointed by her father to take over her old position as deputy director. It helps to have connections. I certainly didn't resent Emma, if anything, I was grateful for her hands-off approach, which had given me so much work experience. Entering management wasn't my goal, though. While doing my job well, I continued my research in AI. Emma grew gentler and gentler with me. At work or outside, she never resisted being close to me, giving me the illusion that she liked me. I'd read enough novels to know this pattern. She was enjoying my care while still pining for her childhood sweetheart. So at home I kept a sensible distance, even when she often asked me to go to movies or shopping with her. Sometimes we'd even grab street barbecue together, and her easygoing nature impressed me. The strange thing was, she liked Noah but didn't care at all about his sister Scarlett. After all this time, she had no intention of reaching out to her. This blockhead, she made me want to give her dating advice. My wife can't drink. Let me toast you on her behalf. It was routine for me to drink for Emma. She always brought me to business dinners, probably to show Noah she was taken, right? I could hold my liquor, but this client was a seasoned drinker and made me have a lot. After dinner, I could barely walk straight. Emma supported me, half my weight leaning on her slender frame. Normally I'd keep my distance, but this time I really couldn't hold myself up. Emma didn't resist at all as she helped me into the car, and when we got home she made me hangover soup. My head was foggy as I watched Emma bustle around, thoughtfully feeding me the soup. Then she got a towel from the bathroom and wiped my face. My feelings were incredibly complicated. Emma, why are you taking such good care of me? Half asleep, I asked the question. Emma gave me a pretty eye roll and mumbled something, but her voice was too quiet for me to hear. When I woke up the next day, I was in an unfamiliar room. It took me a while to realize I'd slept in Emma's bedroom. Her clothes from the day before were draped over the bedside chair. I was silent for a long time before getting up. In the kitchen, the stunning woman was busy, humming happily, seeming to enjoy this. When she saw me come out, her face flushed almost imperceptibly. But she still cheerfully told me to go wash up. Sitting at the table, I thought for a long time before asking hesitantly. Last night, why did I sleep in your room? Oh, that? Emma's face went bright red instantly. She stammered for ages before answering. Last night I just walked in by habit, and you were too heavy, so I let you sleep in my room. Then why did you sleep next to me? I didn't ask, that would be crossing a line. During breakfast, Emma kept starting to say something and stopping, sneaking glances at my expression, but she never got it out by the time we finished. After a full day of work, Emma sat in the driver's seat. Let's go see a movie. Huh? Sure. It was a little strange, we usually went to movies on Sundays. Why the change of schedule? But I was used to not refusing. I let her take me to a restaurant first, where she ordered a couple's meal and insisted I feed her. She ate the food I fed her with a smile, and occasionally picked out things I liked to feed me. Watching the sweet romance on screen, the leads going through ups and downs before kissing passionately, Emma took my hand on her own. I turned and saw the heat in her eyes, and my heart started pounding. She leaned slightly toward me, her red lips breathing a lovely scent. I shamefully didn't pull away. I let her soft lips press against mine. Damn it, she was using tongue. I felt deep frustration inside, I was actually falling for it. My career, my dreams, none of it seemed to matter in that moment. Damn you, Emma, you've broken my resolve. After a 3-minute-long kiss, Emma nestled into my arms. Just as I was struggling internally, a call from her best friend Olivia snapped me back to reality. It was 10:30 at night, and Olivia was asking Emma to pick her up from a bar. What kind of decent woman goes to a bar in the middle of the night? For the first time, I felt something negative toward Olivia. I'm so sorry. Emma apologized to me carefully, and that instantly pulled me back from my moment of weakness. She was apologizing because she was going to leave me alone and run off to Olivia. That was my first thought. So Emma wasn't such a good woman after all. It's making you come with me this late at night. I'd barely gotten a word out before she cut me off. I'd already been pulling up the ride-hailing app on my phone. How did this turn into me going with her? Why was she apologizing to me about it? You said this bar is hers? I'd expected to pick up a drunk Olivia, but the woman came trotting out to the car herself, completely sober. On the way home, Emma explained the bar belonged to Olivia's family, she'd just gone to handle some business. I inexplicably breathed a sigh of relief, faintly glad Emma wasn't that kind of person. But that night, Emma burst into my room in revealing pajamas and lay down on my bed. I'd been half asleep, but that woke me right up. I turned to question her, but her soft lips were already on mine again, that intoxicating scent, that suffocating temptation. I shamefully didn't resist again. Lost in her kiss for a long time, I was about to take things further when Emma quickly pulled back and lay flat. Sleep. Watching her close her eyes and pretend to sleep, her long eyelashes trembling, her flushed face so beautiful. I stared at her, breathing heavily, not knowing if I should make a move. Then her first love flashed through my mind, and it was like a bucket of cold water. I turned onto my side, back to her. She's got someone else and she's still leading me on. Definitely a player. In the morning, Emma looked at me with something like resentment, even glancing down at my lower body, looking like she wanted to say something but didn't. That evening, she handed me a business card for a men's health clinic. I gave her a speechless look, my fingers trembling slightly as I tossed the card in the trash. Her lips moved but she didn't say anything. From that day on, she started studying herbal medicine recipes and would give me a bowl of medicinal soup every few days. She said it was for boosting energy and circulation. I tried a bowl. That night, my whole body was burning up. I had to work out in the gym for half the night to calm down. Emma, what did you give me to drink? The next morning I confronted her angrily. Emma just blinked and mumbled something quietly. After that I refused to drink her soup. But a few days later, that burning feeling swept through my body again. Angry and helpless, I threw open my door. Emma, did you put something in the food? But when I confronted her, I found Emma dressed very skimpily, lying on her stomach on the bed scrolling through her phone. Her long legs and black stockings gave me a strange urge. Seeing my state, she actually looked pleased. What did you give me? My body seemed out of my control. The Emma before me was so beautiful. The scent filling my nose kept making me imagine things, kept pulling me toward her. Something that'll make us happy. Her eyes were dreamy. She wrapped her arms around me on her own, stood on tiptoe, and kissed my lips. That night, I couldn't control myself. The result was Emma staying in bed for 3 days. Why? I'd taken time off too, staying home to take care of her. But I couldn't let this go without an answer. Because we're husband and wife. It's just a contract. You were the one who suggested it. She was unwell, propped up in bed while I fed her. At that, she started acting cute and pouting, leaving me speechless. Because I fell for you. I've been so forward, and you were still a blockhead. I thought, you had a problem down there. You like me? Then what about your first love? I thought about all those novel plots. If things kept going this way, I'd fall into her gentle trap, then get my heart broken when her first love came back, and end up leaving with my tail between my legs. Hadn't I seen how cold her father was when we first met? Like I was a total stranger. I sorted out my thoughts and didn't say anything more. After all, I'd taken her first time, and we'd had a good time together. Leaving gracefully wouldn't be so bad. Life went on. Emma was clingy and affectionate. She used her privileges to move my desk into her office. We ate all 3 meals together, and at night she naturally came to my room. I let go of all my worries and spent a beautiful, happy time with her. But as the days passed, reason told me her first love would be coming home soon. These past few days, Emma had unusually stopped clinging to me all day. Instead, she was mysteriously preparing something. She bought a lot of new clothes and secretly tried them on alone in her room. After dinner, she'd go to her own room to do her makeup. She used to keep it simple, but these days she was putting in real effort. I accidentally saw her shopping cart on her phone. She'd bought a lot of men's clothes, expensive watches, and most importantly, a pair of rings. Seeing the price made my chest ache. She was going to give that man rings. Even though I knew none of this was real, it still hurt. We'd been together so long, and she'd never thought to give me these things. That man hadn't even come back yet, and she'd already prepared everything. Probably lost in the joy of what was coming, Emma didn't notice my change. I started preparing my exit. I rented a place elsewhere, planning to move out as soon as that guy came back. While Emma's attention wasn't on me, I quietly moved my documents and important things out. The moment she said the word, I'd disappear from her life. After all, without her, I wouldn't be where I am today. By now I was a senior director at the company, and many operational decisions bore my signature. My AI research was also making progress. Once I got the patent, I'd be set to take off. I didn't mope around like the protagonists in those novels. I just did what I needed to do. Confident, mature. These 3 years Emma had treated me well. I didn't harbor any unrealistic hopes, only gratitude for her. Finally, the day came for that man's return. Emma disappeared as soon as she got to the company. She'd probably gone to pick him up at the airport. Swallowing the discomfort in my chest, I wrote a resignation letter and put it in my drawer. I sat at my desk carefully organizing my work. Even resigning required tying up loose ends so the handover would go smoothly. In this last year, the project I'd led had brought the company significant revenue, many times more than the severance Emma had given me. I'd more than earned my keep. Near noon, my phone rang. It was Emma. "I'm sorry, Liam. Something came up, so I can't have lunch with you. Come home early tonight. I have something I want to tell you." I replied briefly, agreed, and hung up. So it was time for me to go. I quickly pushed down the turmoil in my chest, organized everything, and went to HR to submit my resignation before leaving work. The HR manager was reluctant, but I just asked her to start the process. I'd get Emma to sign off later. She had no choice but to agree. After that, I grabbed my personal things and left the company. On the way home, my heart still ached a little. Pushing open the door, I found Emma in a formal evening gown I'd never seen before, her cloud-like hair swept up, her fair skin glowing under the lights. The gown revealed a pair of straight calves, and she wore elegant high heels. Seeing me come home, Emma looked delighted. She was holding a bouquet of roses and walking toward me. But my eyes couldn't help but land on the document on the table beside her, next to a large cake. It must be our contract. Thinking she was about to throw herself into another man's arms, I unusually lost my composure, my face showing sadness. "Liam, I have something to tell you." Emma had a happy smile on her face. And I said the same thing. "Emma, I also have something to tell you." "I'll go first." This time Emma didn't back down, she fought to speak first. "Let's say it together." I responded calmly, and she agreed with a little excitement. "I've liked you for a long time. Let's break up." After saying it together, Emma and I were both stunned. My face was full of confusion. Hers was full of disbelief. "What did you say? What did you say? You want to break up with me? You like me?" We spoke at the same time again, both incredulous at what the other had said. Then Emma's expression turned angry, looking at me like I was a heartbreaker. After a long silence, she spoke tentatively. "Is there some kind of misunderstanding here? Didn't you go see Noah today?" Emma's face was full of confusion. Just then, several heads poked out from a room, her best friends. Maybe, possibly, probably my judgment had been a little off. Seeing all of them there, the thought popped into my head. If she'd really gone to pick him up at the airport, at the very least her friends wouldn't all be at her house. It looked like things weren't what I'd imagined. "Noah? Why would I go see him? Who told you that?" Emma was getting angry. She'd spent so long preparing this confession, and I'd turned it into this mess. "Noah's sister told me before that he was your first love, and that you married me on contract just to wait for him to come back." My heart was suddenly racing, pounding hard. I stared at Emma intently, desperate for her answer. "How can you be so dumb? Why didn't you just ask me directly? Listening to some outsider?" Emma's expression made me feel inexplicably guilty. I suddenly felt like I'd made a huge mistake. "Then why have you been ignoring me these past few days, and going out so often? Today is your birthday. I was planning a birthday party for you, bought you lots of gifts, and was going to Emma threw the roses on the table, sat down on the sofa angrily, and turned away from me. Olivia, who'd caught the gist of it, trotted over and handed me a small box. "You blockhead. Emma told us everything about you too. She said you never had a real confession or proposal, and you're too much of a blockhead to ever make the first move. She was going to swallow her pride and propose to you tonight. Look what you've done. Go apologize, now." After a brief shock, my mind flashed through all our time together. I suddenly felt happiness hit me so suddenly. I stood there stunned for a moment. Emma, not waiting for my explanation, angrily stood up from the sofa to leave. I quickly took the box from Olivia, ran over, and grabbed her. I opened the box. Inside was the beautiful ring I'd seen before, and got down on one knee, holding it out to her. "I'm sorry, Emma. I've misunderstood you this whole time. I've liked you for a long time too. Give me a chance to make it up to you for the rest of my life. Will you marry me?" Emma's expression softened a little, but she huffed and turned her head away, refusing to look at me. I didn't know what to do. Was she not going to forgive me? Blockhead, put the ring on her already. At Olivia's reminder, I noticed Emma's small hand slightly extended toward me. A wave of huge joy filled my heart. I quickly took out the ring and put it on Emma. Her face flushed. She took the other ring from the box and gently put it on me. Amid the teasing cheers of her friends, we hugged sweetly. She closed her eyes and stood on tiptoe, and I lowered my head to gently find her lips, sweetly drinking in her scent. "Happy birthday!" Then I cut the cake on the table. Olivia and the other friends stayed late making noise. After they left, Emma looked at me with a mischievous expression. I instinctively took 2 steps back. That look was unfamiliar, and it made me a little scared. "Liam, explain to me, why did you resign from the company?" I want to start my own business." I stammered for ages before coming up with that excuse. "I don't approve. You're going back to work." I hesitated for a while before telling her my plan, to leave Hawthorne Corporation and start my own business. "Honey, I would have supported you. But there's something I need to tell you. Your plan might have to wait a while." After hearing me out, Emma wasn't angry anymore. Instead, she looked shy, like a proper young woman. "I'm pregnant. So I'll need you to run the company for a while. I'm going to stay home and take care of the baby." I did a quick calculation. Emma wouldn't be able to go to the office for at least 2 years, so my startup plans would have to be pushed back. But that plan was nothing compared to the huge surprise Emma had just told me. I looked at Emma's flat stomach in delight and quickly reached out to support her. "Emma, no, honey, be careful. Why didn't you tell me earlier? And you're still wearing heels. Let me change them for you." I just found out." "It's fine." A month later, Emma and I held a grand wedding. Her parents looked very happy. I remembered how cold her father had been when I first met him, and I couldn't help but ask about it curiously. "You stole his beloved daughter, what kind of face did you expect him to make?" Emma gave me a charming eye roll, then looked toward someone in the distance. "There, that's the Noah you were talking about. Your imaginary rival." I turned to look. An ordinary-looking man was hovering attentively around Olivia. Olivia looked resistant, trying to escape, but he was like a fly. Finally, Olivia called security to have him thrown out. "That guy?" I was annoyed. I'd thought this guy was someone special, worthy of being beautiful Emma's first love. Yep. I'm not blind, you know. Why would I go for someone like that when I have a handsome, talented husband? In front of countless distinguished guests, I held Emma in her ornate traditional wedding gown, embracing her sweetly. Our happiness had only just begun. "Let me spend the rest of my life loving you well. Thank you for choosing me, Emma." Emma's side story. Because I hated losing face, I somehow ended up paying Liam to act as my suitor, at least, that's how I saw it. But when my friends pressured me to make it official, I had no choice but to come up with this plan, a contract marriage to get him to agree to be with me. I thought I'd win over this blockhead quickly. Who knew he really was just a blockhead? No choice, this young lady had to swallow her pride and pursue him actively. Who would have thought that even with a beauty like me, he still wouldn't be moved? He got better and better. He handled his own work quickly and helped me solve work problems every day. My parents trusted him too and started promoting him into management. I thought he'd need time to adjust, but he was like a fish in water, nailing project after project. I liked him even more. With a husband so talented, so handsome, with an 8-pack, who wouldn't fall for him? So I made my move. But he still resisted a little. I thought something was wrong with him physically. Who knew that night he'd wear me out completely? Even though my body ached, I was happy inside. At least there was nothing wrong with him. After that, we were happy together. Until his birthday. I prepared for so long, got all my friends to help. I waited anxiously for confession day, put on my best dress, did my full makeup, ready to tell him how I felt. Who knew, that big idiot. I'm going to hold this over him for the rest of his life. Whenever he makes me mad, I'll threaten him with this. Let's see if he dares to get upset with me. Also, I love my handsome husband more and more. Thank you for taking such good care of me, for making me love you a little more every day. For the rest of our lives, I'll work even harder to love you, my dear husband Liam. Hey there, could you rate this story in the comments? Use a scale of 1 to 10, please, I'm begging you, it really means a lot to me. And if you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit follow.